Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. And on this hashtag Transformation Tuesday, we have got a YouTube creator and celebrity stylist in the house who is a true master in transforming your look and style. Thank you so much for being with us, Beth.
Thanks for having me.
We are so inspired by all the content and looks you've provided over the years to hashtag always play dress up.
Yes.
I love that. When did you start playing dress up?
Well, gosh, I mean, 4 years old. It actually started, my mom, I think she woke it up in me, used to take me to this big rummage sale, and she was part of putting it together, and she would say, before everyone came, like, you've got $25 or whatever it was, just dig through the piles and find the things. And so as of probably at that point, I'm like 6 years old, I had some of these amazing vintage dresses and coats and all this stuff, and I literally had a closet. It was a dress-up closet, and it wasn't just like the little girl with the little box of dress-up clothes. Like, I fully had the closet, and I became somebody else, and I would put on these outfits, and then I'm still doing that, and I'm almost 40. So.
Do you remember the day that it turned into a career?
Yes. Well, I guess this was like 2006. I decided I was in corporate America doing a job I hated. And I was like, I want to do what I love, which is fashion. I had no experience or schooling for that. And I said, when I'm, 60, 70, like, I'm going to look back on my life. Like, do I want to look back and know that I went after what I loved? And so I kind of made this switch in my brain to what I thought at the time I was going to open a store that was going to be vintage and modern. And then that was the age of MySpace, the beginning of social media, and blogs started popping up. And I actually started a blog in 2007, which is
OG.
Right. Like, I feel like grandma in this industry.
Wow,
so,
amazing.
Yeah.
Fashion is so important. It's something that, Jazz and Rob and everyone around, it's like up-leveling your fashion. It really makes a big difference.
Yes.
But one of my kind of pet peeves, if you will, out there is that it seems like everyone's wearing the same damn thing. They all have the ripped jeans and the this and the that, and it's like, how do you stand out? What's something
Well, that's
you do
what
that,
Always Play Dress Up is all about.
like wear a white glove or something?
Yes, did. I love it.
What would you recommend for people to do?
Yeah,
to stand out?
my whole thing is, don't worry about what everybody else is wearing. I get this question all the time, like, how do you go places wearing what you wear? And I'm like, I just don't care. Like, I have more fun when I put on whatever that is for the day. And for me, it's almost like I'm putting on a character, and I could be going to the grocery store or Target or to pick up my kids at school, whatever it is. And it's just not really worrying about what other people think. And honestly, once you do it a few times, it's normal. It just becomes your norm, and people get used to you dressing a little bit differently. And and so I'm just always play dress up, think outside the box, and play.
One of the things I love most about your style, though, is that you've mastered finding that perfect vintage piece and making it fit in a modern trend.
Yeah.
So what's the secret to that? If we're going to the rummage sale with $25 or, down the street at Crossroads, what do we look for?
I mean, it's I dress very much inspired by what's happening on the runways. And so not that you have to do that, but I love to just look at, right now is New York Fashion Week. So I love to just look at what the designers are creating. And so much they're being, inspired by what happened 50, 60, 70 years ago.
What's old is always new again.
Right. And so to me, vintage is how you can do that. You can take a blazer that's purple from the 80s, and actually, if you look at the runways for fall, they're covered in colorful leather pieces. So it's that recycling idea of bringing it back. And I do like to pay attention to what's happening because I want to interpret it in a modern way. I don't want to look like I'm walked out of a set of a movie from the 50s. I want to be current now, but it's like using these kind of one-of-a-kind pieces to mix it in.
Any good secrets on finding real jewelry that's vintage?
Oh, like real as in real expensive?
Yes, I kind of like those things in life.
In that case, I would go to a great, like, estate jewelry store. I mean, we have some locally where I live in Orange County, but just kind of going to reputable. I mean, I love a good costume jewelry from the 80s and that kind of stuff. So I like mixing in the high and the low.
Is there a safe fashion risk? Because some people might think, okay, I love that look. I wish I could dress like Beth. But that's too much for me.
It feels a little scary.
It feels a little scary. So
what's your, you love denim, I'm sure, right?
Love denim.
Are you doing the skinny jean?
Of course.
Okay, so you've got your skinny jeans. Then I think the easiest way is, I call it, make it better with a blazer.
Okay.
And that's go into a vintage shop and look for like a really cool blazer. If
Nothing
it's
like
a
a good
leather
blazer.
blazer, if it's a plaid blazer, a little bit oversized, something that's cinched in, just start there. Like rock your great vintage, or you could just do a whatever t-shirt, a white tee and your skinny jeans, and then throw on this kind of power blazer. And you could even throw a little belt over it, you wrap it up, and that's really big right now. So I think the blazer is where you begin, you dip your toe in.
So if somebody wants to work with a stylist like you, for instance, how do they do that?
I mean, there's so many different ways, and we know one of them is Glam Hive, which is a great online service where you can be paired up with stylists all over the country, and it's like
In person or virtual.
right?
Yeah.
Virtual or in person. Also, you never know. There could just be someone locally that you're like, you have amazing style. Like, would you be interested in coming to my house and kind of playing around in my closet with me, or what could I add? And I've done that for so many of my friends, you know, where I'll just kind of go in their closet, say, okay, these are the gaps we need to fill. How could we like jazz it up a little bit, make it a little outside the box? But, you know, dipping toes in as you go.
Do you have the most memorable look that you've created for somebody?
Oh, for someone else? I love dressing myself. Let's see. I have a friend, and she's a little bit more like, she's super trendy and cute, but she like, we kind of took her outside of her box, and she had, I think it was a reunion that she was going to, a high school reunion or something, and I did the shopping for her and kind of helped her create her look for that, and she felt fabulous. And it was something that she wouldn't normally have worn before. And then I even like took her to a few fashion parties, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, I love what you're wearing." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, just like the standard look, but kind of something a little bit outside the
So
box."
cute.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, tell people how they can find and follow you. And
Yeah, so I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I'm
start
on all
watching
the
you all the
platforms.
time.
I have a YouTube channel, so that's a weekly show, Be Jones Style. And then I also have, you know, of course, Instagram, my website. I've got an ebook and a line of t-shirts on Be Jones Style as well. So
Nice.
Be Jones Style everywhere.
Be Jones Style. Stay
Yes.
tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, La La Land.